do. And now, your favorite Disney princesses and characters are joining the party, and the results are hilarious. Just wait until you see what Moana and Maui look like. If this is your first time visiting our channel, don't forget to subscribe and please give this video a big thumbs up. Sit back as we show you 20 funniest Disney face swaps. Rapunzel and Pascal. We are supposed to use the face swap filter with another human, but we all have to admit that we wanted to try it with our dog. It didn't work properly, but that's just what makes it even more hilarious. And this Disney princess knows that imagination has no limit when it comes to having fun. Rapunzel now has the face of a chameleon, and Pascal is a young woman. By the look of it, it seems like this green creature loves wearing a beautiful dress, and the young princess is jealous of his look. We would love to see a chameleon falling in love. It would be a story about showing your true colors. Pocahontas and John. Many of us know that the story of this Native American is not as pretty as Disney wants us to believe. Pocahontas was only a child when John Smith came to America. She was badly treated by these strangers, was taken to Europe, and had to marry another John. But what if this story was different? Here's what they look like when we swap their faces. But we want to know what it would be like if they swapped their lives. We would love to see Native Americans traveling to Europe, and instead of taking their lands, they would simply teach them about the beauty of nature. Now that's a true love story that we would like to watch. If you want to watch just one more video, the Premium is the platform where you should go. Get early access to videos from The Things, The Taco, The Trendy, The Richest, and many other great channels in one place with ad-free browsing. Click this link to sign up for free to the Premium and get ready to binge watch videos from your favorite channels. Sebastian and Ariel. We have already seen what it looks like when we swap our face with an animal, but the result is funnier when it is a sea creature, mostly if it is not a real one. We know that Sebastian has a lot of funny facial expressions, and now we want to see them on someone else. Just take a look at Ariel and Eric if they had the same face as this sea creature. This is not the romantic scene that we are used to seeing. We think that this is even better. If only Ariel were so expressive, the prince would be able to clearly understand what she wants. Unfortunately, it would not be possible to kiss the girl because she has no lips. Kuzco and Pacha. We can never get enough of face swaps with animals, so here's another one for you. Shaq is transformed into a seal. These pictures never stop being funny. If you love animals, you would probably like to watch The Emperor's New Groove as Kuzco is transformed into a llama by his ex-advisor Yzma. It looks like she didn't only give him the wrong magic potion, but also messed up with the ingredients because the Emperor is still part human, and he doesn't seem too happy about it, and neither does the village leader who found him. We hope that Pacha will quickly find a way to help him. We think that this llama looks a little terrifying. Belle and Gaston. He might think that he is the most handsome man on earth who deserves to marry the most beautiful woman. But we think that Gaston will change his mind when he sees what his face looks like on Belle. When we see how Pedro Fequere for BuzzFeed reimagined her, we are not sure that we would like to say bonjour when we see her on the street. We think that we would be avoiding her if we saw her on the street. Gaston might look a little better, but this enormous chin keeps distracting us from looking at his beautiful eyes. At least, this would truly be a story about inner beauty. We will have to call this movie The Beast and the Beast. Jasmine and Jafar. It's easy to spot the good and the bad characters in Disney movies. The kind princess is beautiful, and the mean antagonist is ugly. We all know that in real life, it can be completely the opposite, and it can cause a lot of trouble. So let's imagine what it would be like if these two characters from Aladdin swapped faces. Jasmine would be ugly, and Jafar would be good-looking. Do you think this new version of Jasmine would marry Jafar because she is less confident because of her look? Absolutely not. Everyone knows that an evil person can never truly be beautiful, but being nice immediately makes you prettier. Like a diamond in the rough, Aladdin will give her a chance and quickly see her inner beauty. Flynn and Rapunzel. The princess let her hair grow during all her life to keep its magic power, and it seems like she let a little more facial hair grow when we look at this face swap. Just look at her with the face of Flynn Rider. We thought that these characters were really good looking, but we maybe changed our minds when we saw their faces on another body. And we think that this story would be hilarious if they exchanged their personalities too. It's always funny to see someone who has a beard trying to swap his face with someone else. Just look at the picture of this father and his baby together. They are hilarious. Esmeralda and Quasimodo. The Hunchback of Notre Dame is the story of a deformed man who develops a friendship with a gypsy woman, Esmeralda. He quickly falls in love with her, but sees her in the arms of another man before he can reveal his true feelings. But if you read the original story, you would know that Phoebus was actually the bad guy. Being so beautiful caused a lot of problems to Esmeralda. Maybe if she swapped her face with Quasimodo, her story would be really different. They would love each other for who they are, and she would attract fewer bad guys who try to take advantage of her only for her beauty. Who said that nice guys always have to finish last? Ariel and Ursula. When the Little Mermaid met her Prince Charming, she was ready to do anything for him. So when Ursula offered to give her legs in exchange for her voice, she immediately accepted. But what if Ursula asked her to swap her face instead, as Pedro Fecquieri reimagined her? The story would have been really different, but also less interesting to look at. Would Eric save this weird-looking creature lying on the beach? This guy has a heart of gold, so we think he will. And as she would still be able to talk, she would be able to explain to him all this crazy story, and they'll live happily ever after. But this adventure would be way too short to tell, so we prefer the original one. Tiana and Naveen. When you see handsome people, you wish that you could have a good-looking face like them. But sometimes it only looks good on their body. Just take a look at Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. We are happy to see that the actress doesn't grow a beard in real life. It doesn't look as pretty as her beautiful hair. But now let's take a look at our favorite Disney characters swapping faces. Just as they were getting ready for their wedding, it seems like a little incident happened. Naveen seems confused about the look of the bride. But he can't complain. He was a frog when Tiana first met him, and we have to admit that we would love to see a face swap of a human with a frog. Aladdin and Jasmine. This is probably one of our favorite Disney movies. The street rat is a true diamond in the rough, growing up as a thief, but always doing what's good. It's no surprise that Jasmine thought that this man was really charming when she got the chance to know him. But did you know that Aladdin didn't always look the way he does? He wasn't really handsome at first, but the animators thought that the princess was too beautiful to fall in love with a guy like this. This is why he was modeled after Tom Cruise instead. Now, do you want to see what they look like with a different face? Here they are, and it is pretty funny. Anna and Kristoff. Who said that every princess needed a prince? Anna found out that a normal guy could be much more charming, and Elsa always knew that she was better off alone than in bad company. But let's go back to the cutest couple of the movie. It wasn't love at first sight, and it is better this way when we see what happened with Hans. Kristoff and Anna didn't like each other at first, but they quickly found out that when you don't get what you want, you could get what you need. If only they could swap faces, they could see how ridiculous they both look when they argue with each other. Difference doesn't have to be a bad thing. They will later realize that it's actually what they like the most about each other. Snow White and Grumpy. The fairest of them all had to run away from her home because her stepmother was jealous of her beauty. She found a place to hide and was happy to hear that the dwarfs welcomed her into their home. But if the princess looked like these short and funny characters, we think that this story would have been really different. If the young girl had a big nose like that, the evil queen wouldn't have to care about the competition. She would like to keep Snow White by her side to feel prettier next to her. But no matter what she looks like on the outside, Snow White will always be the fairest of them all on the inside. And we are pretty sure that her Prince Charming will see that too. Hercules and Philoctetes. We have seen a lot of people and characters swapping their faces with animals. But the fun doesn't stop there. You can face swap with almost anything, including objects. You probably don't have a half-human, half-goat friend at home, but let's see what the funny Philoctetes looks like next to Hercules. We know that he has a big heart, but the satyr can easily be annoyed by other people. If Hercules had this personality, we think that he would be going from hero to zero because of his behavior. The nose doesn't suit him either, but as a sidekick and trainer, Philoctetes is absolutely perfect, and we think that he would love to have Hercules' face to flirt with women. Abu and the Merchant. Poor Abu didn't have anything to eat, so we can't be mad at him when he tries to steal things. If we had to choose between starving or becoming a thief, it would be a matter of life and death. To solve all our problems, we would just have to swap their faces. Now, the merchant looks really happy to give away his food, and the monkey makes us laugh even more. If only everyone could be as generous as Aladdin, we would be living in a better world. The merchant has a lesson to learn from that, just like Apu did when he saw his role model give bread to the children. Pocahontas and Ratcliffe. As soon as we saw Governor Ratcliffe, we knew that he wasn't going to America to do something good. In Disney movies, it is pretty easy to recognize the bad characters at first sight. But do you know what would be worse? If the governor had a beautiful face like Pocahontas, just like Pedro Fecquieri reimagined him. Many people would trust him more easily, and he would have more power to get rid of Native Americans. If only it was like that in real life, we would love people to get uglier every time they are mean to recognize who is evil. But maybe needing to get to know people is a necessity that we should learn to appreciate. Everyone deserves a chance after all. Tarzan and Jane. We haven't watched this movie in a long time, and this is why we should organize a Disney marathon. Let's watch all our favorite movies in one night, and Tarzan has to be part of our list. In the movie, a young boy is raised by a gorilla in the forest in Africa. Growing up, he thought that there was no one else like him, so he was surprised to see explorers visiting the forest when he saved Jane. But what if this young woman looked even more like him? What if she had the same face? After all, birds of a feather flock together, and most of us are attracted to those who are similar to us. They are probably one of the most surprising couples we have ever seen. Jafar and the Genie. Genie is probably one of our favorite Disney characters ever. We love his funny facial expressions and how he changes his shape to become a new character. If we could have our wish, it would be to always have him by our side. This is why we couldn't wait to see a face swap of him with another character. And the lucky one turned out to be Jafar. He looks really surprised. What do you think he saw? We hope that it is Jasmine in the arms of Aladdin, because we love to see these two together. But no matter what, watching their reaction is probably funnier than what is in front of them. Ariel and Eric. We are tired of seeing princes saving the damsel in distress. This time, we don't only want these characters to swap their faces, we also want them to swap their lives. Eric will be the merman living under the sea, and Ariel will be the princess living on the land. But we bet that if this man gives away his voice in exchange for legs, that won't be too much of a problem. We heard that women are sometimes better at understanding body language, so maybe the princess will be able to guess what he wants. But would she have the courage to make the first step and kiss the boy? This is a story that we would love to see in a Disney movie. Moana and Maui. And last but not least is Moana and Maui. They might look different as the semigod is huge and the young woman looks really tiny next to him. But don't judge them only by their looks. Moana is actually the one who has the strongest personality, and Maui has a heart as big as his belly. Together, they make the perfect team to go on a crazy adventure. So what would they look like with their faces swapped? Here they are, and the result is really hilarious. Are there any other duos that you would like to see? Don't be shy to tell us who it is in the comments section down below. And that's it for 20 funniest Disney face swaps. For more stories like this, make sure you watch